it's Miss Sebastian. We're going to talk about dividing decimals today. So the first thing we're going to do is write our problem. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and draw in the house. Okay, so when dividing decimals, I have to get rid of the decimal in the divisor by moving it 1, 2 spots. So this is a whole number. So it's going to be 16. So since I moved this 2 decimal places, I have to move the 1 in the dividend 2 decimal places. So now I can rewrite it as 46.72. When you are dividing decimals, you take the decimal straight up. Go ahead and put it there so that you don't forget and misplace the decimal. So 16 goes into 4. It can't. 16 goes into 46 2 times. 2 times 16 is 32. When I subtract, I get 14. Bring the 7 down. 16 goes into 147. Let's try 9. 9 times 6 is 54. 9 times 1 is 9 plus 5 is 14. Then I bring down my 2. 16 goes into 32 2 times. And when I multiply, that is 32. And I'm done. So my number, my quotient is 2 92/100. Okay, let's look at number 2. This one says, what is 391 6/10 divided by 2 2/10? So I'm going to do the same thing. I have to move it 1 decimal place. I have to move it 1 decimal place. Take the decimal straight up. If you don't want to rewrite it, that's fine. But show the arrows so that you remember exactly where it goes. So let's see. 22 goes into 39 1 time. When I subtract, I get 17. Bring down the 1. 22 goes into 171. Let's see. Let's try 6 times. I'm going to come over here, over to the side, and multiply by 6. 6 times 2 is 12. Carry a 1. That'd be 13. Oh, we got another one. That'd be 154. Okay, so it's going to be 6 plus 1 is 7. So 7 times, and that was 154. If I don't remember, I try the math over on the side so that way my work over here is nice and neat. Okay, and then I bring down my 6. Let's try 8 now. 8 times 2 is 16. Carry a 1. 8 times 2 is 16 plus 1 is 17. So my answer is 178. Okay, because notice my decimal is at the end. Okay, number 3. I've got the divisor, which is 11 thousandths, divided into 1 472 10,000ths. So the first thing I've got to do is get rid of the decimal. 1, 2, 3 spots. So I have to match it over here. 1, 2, 3 spots. So my decimal goes there. So 11 goes into 10. Nope, it can't. 11 goes into 104 9 times, and that's 99. When I subtract, I get 5. Bring down my 7. 11 goes into 57 5 times. That's 55. Bring down the 2. 11 goes into 22 2 times. So notice my decimal is there. So my answer is 95 2/10. Okay, number 4. I've got 3/10 divided into 267 and 6/10. The first thing we've got to do is get rid of that decimal. So move it over to the right one spot, so I have to match it over here. Take my decimal straight up. Okay, so 3 goes into 2, it can't. 3 goes into 26, 8 times, and that's 24. When I subtract, I get 2. Bring down my 7. 3 goes into 27, 9 times. Bring down my 6. 3 goes into 6, 2 times. And I am done. So my answer is 892. The decimal's at the end, so that means it's a whole number there. Okay, number 5 says the price of nachos for a group of people at the amusement park was $112. Each person paid $2.50 to have nachos. How many people were in this group? So the problem is $112.50 divided by $2.50. So we're going to put $2.50 as the divisor. The first thing we have to do is move that decimal. So I have to move it 1, 2 spots, and 1, 2 spots. Take the decimal straight up. So I've got 250 goes into 112, can't do it, but 250 into 1,125. We can do that. Let's see. I know 250 times 4 would be 1,000. So let's try 4. So I've got 125. Okay, so when I say 250 into 1250, 5 times 250 is 1250. And I am done. So there were 45 people in this group. Okay, number 6. Taka is figuring out the mass of some materials in his science lab. Sample X has a mass of 13 and 5,000 grams, and sample Y has a mass of 1,700 grams. The mass of sample X is how many times the mass of sample Y? So I'm going to say 1,700 into 13 and 5 thousandths. So the first thing I need to do is move that decimal. 1, 2, 1, 2. Bring the decimal straight up. So 17 can't go into 13, but 17 can go into 130. Okay, so I'm going to come over to the side and I'm going to say, okay, let's try 6. 6 times 7 is 42. That'll give me 102. I think I can add it one more time. Okay, and you can kind of see my math over here just so I've got an idea. So this is times 7 right here. So I know it can go in 7 times at 119. And then I get 11 when I bring down the 0. Well, I know that 17 times 6 is 102. Okay, and then I've got to say 17 into 85. Let's try 5 times. 5 times 7 is 35, so I'm carrying the 3. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8. So my answer is at 76.5 times the size. Okay, number 7. The members of the soccer team sold $370.50 worth of candy bars for the fundraiser. Each candy bar is $1.50. How many candy bars were sold? So the first thing I've got to do is move my decimal. 1, 2, 1, 2. Take my decimal straight up. Okay, so I'm doing 150 into 370. That'll be 2. When I subtract, I get 300. Subtracting, I get 70. Bring down the 5. Okay, so 150 goes into 705 4 times. That's 600. Now 150 goes into 1,050. Well, 4 times is 600. That means 6 times is 900. Let's try 7. 7 times 0 is 0. 7 times 5 is 35, so I'm carrying a 3. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 3 is 10. So they sold 247 candy bars. Okay, number 8. An airline charges $462.40 for all the passengers on a plane to have pretzels. Each bag of pretzels is $3.40. How many passengers are on the plane? So I'm doing $3.40 goes into, $462.40. First thing I need to do is move my decimal. 1, 2. 1, 2. Take the decimal straight up. So 340 goes into 462 one time. When I subtract, get 122. Bring down my 4. 340 goes into 1224. Let's try 3 times. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 4 is 12, so I'm carrying that 1. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. 4 minus 0 is 4. 0. 2 minus 0 is 2. And bring down the 0. Okay, so let's try 6. 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 4 is 24, so I'm carrying a 2. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 2 is 20. So there were 136 passengers on the plane.